I scored 98 in Physics Jamb last year, and in this video I want to share with you what I did differently and what worked for me and how I ended up with a very excellent score. I wrote JAMB twice, and in my first JAMB I was somewhere above average in physics. I got about 60 something percent. My second JAMB, which was last year, I ended up scoring 98. So in this video I just want to share with you what I did differently, what worked for me, and what you should do if you are serious about smashing your JAMB in physics this year. So I want to share with you what to do. First, I changed my mindset about the topic. I stopped seeing physics as something that only smart people pass. I started seeing it as something that I can actually do, that I can actually learn with time and effort. When I was writing my first JAMB, I hated physics so much. I didn't like the sound of physics. I didn't like anything that had to do with physics. If you bring physics to me, I'll be like, no, I don't know it. Leave me alone. I don't know it. I started to see it as a topic that I can actually pass if I put in the time and effort. Your mind is an important factor in determining how you perceive things and how you behave, towards life in general. So if you see physics as a hard topic, it's going to be hard for you. The first thing you have to do is change your mindset. Change your mindset about the topic. When I was writing my first JAMB, I was sure that I was cursed with the topic. I hated physics. I didn't want anything to do with it. I didn't like the topic, and because of that, I didn't read it. And even when I read it with the mindset that if whatever they say, physics is useless. I can never understand it. That mindset made me fumble a lot in physics. So if you want to excel in your physics exam, you have to change your mindset. That's the first thing you have to do. Change your mindset. Start to see physics as something that you can do, something that with time and effort you'll be able to get there, right? And with time and with your consistent effort, you will get there. Next thing I did was that I started early. I started really early and I stayed consistent with physics from the beginning of my studying. Why? Because physics was one subject that I knew that I didn't know very well, so I made sure to start studying it early. And one thing about starting early is that you are able to see questions repeatedly, especially questions from topics that you're not familiar with. Don't start with topics that you are familiar with. Start with the ones that you don't know at all. When I was preparing, topics like speed, force, all those simple SS1 topics, I already knew them. Start with topics that you're not familiar with. Even if you do not get a good knowledge of them, that exact moment you are reading it. Over time, seeing questions repeatedly come from that topic and actively trying to tackle questions on that topic will make it less scary for you and to improve your confidence in physics generally. Another thing is that I read to understand the concept. This is very important. In my last JAMB, I just read physics. If I don't read physics, study physics. Each topic that you're studying, you should take your time to understand the logic behind that topic. Take your time to understand the concept behind the topic. Take your time to understand the patterns. Okay, they give you a formula. You understand why that formula is that formula. If, for example, they give you v equals to u plus 80, don't just say, okay, v equals to u plus 80. No, understand why is v equals to u plus 80. That really helped me because JAMB physics questions, they are not set in a way that if someone with only the knowledge of the formula can understand. You need to understand the concept behind each topic. And one thing about physics is that each topic is related, right? If you finish reading motion and you didn't understand the topic very well, you didn't understand the motion very well, if you go to projectiles, you won't understand it. So each topic are related. So any topic that you are studying, you should make sure that you actually understood that topic, so that anyhow that they twist the question for you, you'll be able to give the right answer to it. I didn't just memorize formulas. I made to understand why that formula works and how to use it. I understood the theory behind those formulas, the concept behind those formulas, and that really helped a whole lot. These days we are blessed with a lot of resources that can help you to learn these topics without anyone teaching you. So I used YouTube, I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and they helped me a whole lot in understanding physics. Go on YouTube, search for videos, search for topics that you have a hard time understanding, and you'll be able to see videos that can help you. Another thing I did differently when I was studying for physics last year was that I practiced a lot of past questions. Past questions are very important. They help you to learn how JAMB sets their questions. You know, you start to see patterns when you're solving JAMB past questions. I solved a lot of past questions. Reading was like 40%. Reading for physics was like 40%. While studying for past questions was what I mostly did. So don't just read textbooks. Yes, to read to understand the concept is important, because if you don't understand the concept, there's no way you're going to be able to solve past questions. But past questions helps you understand the topic better. It helps you to see how JAMB sets their questions. It helps you to see patterns. You know, any topic I read and I knew that okay, I have good knowledge of it, I usually went to past questions. I look for past questions both from my textbook and from my past questions book. You know, I solved a lot of questions from that topic, and each question that I could not answer, I made sure to find out the reason why I could not answer that question. I sat through that question to actually understand the reason for my failure, and this is going to help you a lot because you are learning from your mistakes, right? So don't just answer past questions and you look at your score and you just leave it like that. That is reading blindly. You read, you analyze your mistakes and understand why you failed what you failed. This is going to help you a whole lot. Another thing I did differently was how I approached questions on a topic for the first time. So after reading a topic for the first time, maybe I read radioactivity now. Okay, so I've noticed the trend. I have good knowledge of the topic. I've seen the formulas. I advise you, if you want to solve the first question from past questions, you know the first questions are always easier, right? When you are solving it from your textbook, don't look at the solution first. You're training your brain to think when you do not look at the solution first, when you actually use your knowledge on the topic to solve that first question. Because I know those first questions are always easier, and that helps you learn better. That helps you grasp the topic even better. And when you see that you got the answer right without even looking at a solution, it just increases your confidence in the topic in general, and it helps you learn better. I advise you, when you're done reading a topic in physics, do not look at the solution to the first question. Try and solve it yourself. So something else I did that helped me was that I had a formula book. It can be any small book, any small jotter, but I wrote down formulas, all the physics formulas I encountered in this book. After I read a topic, I'll write, maybe I read projectors, I'll write projectors, and I'll write all the formulas under projectors. I'll write electric currents, I'll write all the formulas under that topic, and this really helped me a whole lot. This book was very versatile. Anytime I forgot formulas, I always came to it to look for the formulas I forgot, and every day I made it a habit every day to memorize those formulas inside that book. I made it a habit every day to read those formulas in that book. The point that everybody knew about my formula book. This was of very much help, because when I encountered any question, the solution, the formula to the question just came to me naturally. I didn't forget formulas. It helped me not to forget formulas. So I advise you, get a formula book and write down any formula you see. Even if you don't know what topic it is under, what topic the formula is under, as far as it's physics, just write it down. Just write it down. Then you can do your research and find out the concept behind the formula. And you make sure you memorize them. If you can't memorize them every day, just memorize them at least every 2 days, so that your brain does not forget. And finally, I fell in love with the topic. I fell in love with the subject. So changing your mindset about the topic first makes everything easier. I started to enjoy solving physics questions, started to enjoy studying physics in general, and I just found myself loving the topic. And honestly, physics is not hard. Physics is one of the easiest topics you can pass in JAMB. Why? Because it's based on calculations, and calculations are more they are more precise, they are more exact, you know, unlike topics like biology, that if you do not know the answer, trust me, you don't know the answer. Calculations are more structured and predictable. This makes physics easier to pass because once you know the formula, once you know how to use it, you're already halfway done with the question. You already know the question. Mistakes usually comes from like approximate values, or maybe you made a mistake in your calculation. So yeah, those are all the things I did last year that helped me score 98 in physics. So if you're struggling with physics right now, don't give up. With the right mindset and consistency, I assure you, you're gonna get there. So I really hope this video was of help to you. Please give this video a thumbs up and do well to subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye.